Hello everybody. So we are now going to do the book back exercises, the French 2 portions of lesson 7, which reads Grève Générale. And the first exercise reads Répondez librement. Répondez librement means you have to reply according to what you feel. You have the choice. So there are some questions given, and the questions here are worded using the future tense. So your answer will also be in future tense. So the first question reads, Si la banque est fermée, que ferez-vous? Si la banque est fermée, que ferez-vous? That is, if the bank is closed, what will you do? So the bank is closed, what will you do? So it is according to your will. So I am going to give my answer. You can write whatever you want as a logical answer, but it has to be in the future tense. Why? Because the verb of the sentence is in future. So, si la banque est fermée, que ferez-vous? So you say, you can start by saying, je ne pourrais pas retirer de l'argent. That is, I cannot withdraw money. You can repeat this whole thing. Si la banque est fermée, je ne pourrai pas retirer de l'argent. Or you can simply write the answer in the future tense. But what is required here is to know that you are able to reply to a question where the subject is vous. You reply with je, and since this is in future, you will also give the verb in the future, and it has to be logical. So if the question is, if the bank is closed, what will you do? So you say, je ne pourrai pas retirer de l'argent. I will not be able to withdraw money. The next question, s'il n'y a pas de transport en commun, comment irez-vous au bureau? So if there is no public transport. See, if you want, you can repeat this whole thing into the answer. But it's not required because you're just going to reply to this question. So you can say, comment irez-vous au bureau? How will you go to the office? Again, you can see that the subject is vous. So you can start, je marcherai, I will walk. Je marcherai au bureau. If there is no public transport, I will walk to the office. Next question. Si les magasins sont fermés, que ferez-vous? If the shops are closed, what will you do? What will you do can also be what you will not be able to do. But what you need to understand is you need to give a logical answer to the given subject, and the verb has to be in future based on the question that is asked. So if the question is, si les magasins sont fermés, que ferez-vous? Je rentrerai chez moi. I will return to my house. It's a very logical, simple answer. If the shops are closed, then you will just return to your house. And this is how you write it in the future. The next question, s'il y a une grève générale, que ferez-vous? If there is a general strike, what will you do? So you can say, je ne pourrai pas aller quelque part. I will not be able to go anywhere. Je ne pourrai pas aller quelque part. I will not be able to go anywhere. The next question, S'il y a un embouteillage, que ferez-vous? If there is a traffic jam, what will you do? So you can say, je prendrai le métro. Je prendrai le métro. So remember, in all these questions, the subject given is vous. So you have to start writing the answer with je. And since the question is in future tense, your answer will also be in future tense, and it will be relevant to the question that is asked here. So you cannot say, if there is a general strike, then I will take the metro. You cannot write whatever you want in the future and it will not be correct. You will have to write a logical answer to the given question, understanding the meaning of the question and giving a relevant answer in the future tense. So with that, we finish the first exercise. Thank you. Hello everybody. We are now in the second exercise of lesson 7, Grève Générale, and the second exercise reads mettez les phrases au passif, which means put the sentences in passive voice. Now the syntax for passive voice, you write the object. See, first let me give you what is an active voice and what is passive voice. We have already done it in the previous lessons, but a quick recap for you. Active voice, you write the subject, you write the verb, you write the object. So it becomes S plus V plus O. That is active voice. Now the same sentence is written in the passive voice, where you start the sentence with an object. Then I am going to give you the syntax in French. Plus être, that is, you write the object, you conjugate être according to the object. Then you write the participe passé. The participe passé will depend upon the verb of the sentence. Then you will write par, which is by, and then you will write the sujet. So if it is I teach French, I teach French. French is taught by me. I teach French becomes French is taught by me. So what do? You write the object, you write être according to the given object, you write the past participle of the given verb in the sentence, and then you write par, which is by, then you write the subject. The one thing that you must remember, when you write passive voice, the participe passé will get according to the gender and number of the object. So if the object is feminine singular, you will add one more E to the past participle. If it is masculine plural, you will add an S. If it is feminine plural, you will add ES. If it is masculine singular, no change to the past participle. So with that understanding, let's go on to each of these sentences. The first sentence reads, on bloque toutes les routes. En here means one. One is not by itself a subject, but just to say that the roads are blocked. One blocks all the roads. So here this is the subject, this is the verb, this is the object, but when you finish the sentence you cannot say par un, by someone. So we start the sentence with toutes les routes. Why toutes les routes? Because that is the object of the sentence. This is the verb, this is the object. Here I want to tell you that there are two kinds of passive voice. One is a personal passive voice, one is an impersonal passive voice. A personal passive voice will tell you the action is done by somebody. But sometimes you have an impersonal passive voice where you do not say who is the subject who did the action. For example, you say the roads were constructed in 1955. So you say were constructed, it does not say by whom. So this is one such sentence where you do not need to write this at the end of the sentence. You simply say toutes les routes and then you conjugate être according to the given object. Now this is feminine plural, ELLES. So you write SONT. Why do I write SONT in present tense? Because the original verb is in present tense. So when the original verb is in present tense, etra will also be in present tense according to the gender and number of the object. Now we will write this verbs. Original verb is bloquer. The original verb is bloquer. It's a regular ER verb. And I'm going to put the past participle. So, bloquer. Is my answer over? No. You add ES because it is toutes les routes, which is feminine plural. So, I hope you have understood the first sentence. On bloque toutes les routes sont bloquées. All the routes are blocked. We come to the second sentence. L'embouteillage perturbe la circulation. The traffic jam affects the traffic. So subject, verb, object. We start the sentence with the object. La circulation. La circulation is feminine singular. And this is also the original verb is an ER verb. We write être. This is third person singular feminine L. So you write EST. Then you write the past participle. Why? Because the original verb is perturber. The original verb is perturber. So you write perturber. Is it over? No. You add one more E because it is la circulation, feminine singular. Est perturbé par l'embouteillage. L'embouteillage. The traffic is affected by the traffic jam. The next sentence, les grévistes ferment l'usine. Here the agitators or the strikers close the factory. So this is the object. This is feminine singular. So l'usine. Again I will write être. I will write être in present tense. Why? Because this original verb is in present tense. So a, and this has come from the verb fermer. So I will write. Is my answer complete? No. I will add one more E. Why? Because this is feminine singular. L'usine est fermée par, by les grévistes. So you can see here the subject here is in plural, but the object is singular. The object is singular. So when the subject is plural, the verb gets conjugated according to the gender and number of the subject. But when the object is singular, again the verb will get conjugated for the number of the object. Don't get confused that here there is plural and this is the plural form, but here there is singular. Here it is singular. Why? Because it is the object that is written here. We are rewriting the sentence from active to passive voice. We go to the next sentence. Les syndicats revendiquent une augmentation de salaire. So the trade unions are fighting for an increase in salary. So this is the object. This whole thing is the object. So you will start with une de salaire une augmentation de salaire. So this is third person singular. A Now this is again an ER verb. The original verb is revendiquer. So you will write revendiquer, and this is feminine singular. You will add one more E. Revendiquer par les syndicats. So here you can get confused. The word salaire here is in plural, but then this is une augmentation. So this is an increase in the salaries. So this is what is the object, which is feminine singular. So you write est only because it is third person singular feminine. We go to the last sentence of this exercise. Le gouvernement n'accepte pas les revendications des syndicats. So, les revendications des syndicats is the object of the sentence. So, that becomes the first part of the sentence, and that is in plural. Les Now this is in the negative. So since it is in the negative, I told you the second part of the sentence is être. So you put ne before, ne or n apostrophe before this and pas after this. And since this is in present tense, I will write ne, and this you can see it is plural. So you will write ne sont pas, and then you will write the past participle. Ne sont pas acceptés. This is feminine plural, so you must add es to the past participle because this is feminine plural. Les revendications des syndicats ne sont pas acceptées par le gouvernement. Which means the government is not accepting the demands of the trade union. So the demands of the trade union are not accepted by the government. So this becomes the starting point, the object. Since this is in the negative, you put ne, you write être, it becomes sonty because this is the plural form. Then you write pas, then you look at the verb and you write the past participle. You add esy because this is feminine plural, and then you write the subject of the sentence after you write par. So the demands of the trade union are not accepted by the government. With that, we finish the second exercise. Thank you. Hello everybody. We are now going to do the third exercise in lesson 7, Grève Générale, and the third exercise again says mettez au passive les phrases suivantes. So which is again putting the sentences into the passive voice, and we've already looked into how to frame passive voice. This is in active voice, you write the subject, verb and object, and in passive voice you reframe the sentence by writing the object first, you conjugate être according to the given object, then you write the past participle, you accord the past participle based on the gender and number of the object, then you write par, and then you write the sujet. So if it is a personal passive voice, then the action is done by somebody, so then you say par. But if it is an impersonal passive voice, then there is no need to write by somebody. So as I had already given a different example, you say the bridge was constructed or the building was built in a particular year. It was caused, the rain caused the floods. So here there is a subject and an object. So the floods were caused by the rain, personal passive voice. But when you say the bridge was constructed in 1955, then there is no person here who has done it specifically. So it is an impersonal passive voice. So when it is a personal passive voice, you will write par, and if it is an impersonal passive voice, there is no need to write par and then the subject, because there is no subject there. Now let us look at the sentences. La grève cause des inconvénients au public. The strike causes inconveniences to the public. So this is a subject, this is the verb, this is the object, and this is to whom. This is the indirect object, to whom. So that will also come back into the sentence. Let us see how it comes back. So we'll start with the object, des inconvénients. Then I told you have to write être. So now être, this is plural masculine. So être for plural becomes sont. Then you write the past participle. For that you need to look at the verb of the sentence. And why have I put this in present tense? Because the original verb is in present tense. So this verb has come from the verb causer, to cause. So you write the past participle. Is it over? No. Inconveniences were caused to the public. So to the public, au public. Now comes the first part, which is by somebody. The first part of the sentence comes back into the answer. So inconveniences were caused to the public by, par. Then you write la grève. La grève. So des inconvénients sont causés au public par la grève. So what have we done? We wrote the object, we conjugated être for this, which is in the plural form. We wrote the past participle, we added an s. Why? Because this is masculine plural. And then we need to bring back this into the sentence because this is an indirect object, to whom. And then you write par and then the sujet. We come to the next sentence. La tigre emporte la proie. The tiger takes away the prey. The tiger takes away the prey. So we start with the object, la proie. Now this is a regular ER verb. So then we write the object, then we write être, and we write être in present tense. Why? Because the original tense is in present tense. A emporté, and we add one more e. Why? Because this is feminine singular. Et emporté par la tigre. It is le tigre, it's not la tigre. Par le tigre. We come to the next sentence, which is l'élève apprend la leçon. The student learns the lesson. So this is the object, la leçon, and then this is in present tense, être in present tense, apprendre, past participle is appris. You add one more e. La leçon est apprise par l'élève. La leçon est apprise par l'élève. The next sentence, on a volé ma voiture, which means someone stole the car. So here again it is not very specific who stole the car. So this becomes an impersonal passive voice where you write the object and then you write être, then you write the past participle and then you leave it at that because it is an impersonal passive voice. So we start the sentence with the object ma voiture. Then you're going to write etre, but before you write etre, it is very important to see that the original verb is in past tense. So etre will be in past tense based on this. Ma voiture. Etre in past tense is a été. So this is in past tense. Why? Because this is in past tense. This is in passé composé. So this is also in passé composé. Someone stole my car. So you say my car was stolen by somebody, but you don't have to say that by somebody. It's enough if you simply say was stolen. Now this is the verb of the sentence. So you write voler. Is it over? No. You add one more e because it is ma voiture, which is feminine singular. My car was stolen. We come to the last sentence of this exercise. Le chat chasse l'oiseau. The cat chases the bird. So we start with the object l'oiseau. A. This original verb is in present tense, être in present tense. Et chasser. Is it complete? Yes, it is complete because this is masculine singular. You will not make a change to the past participle. The past participle changes according to the gender and number of the object. Here it is feminine singular, you added one more e. Here it is masculine singular, no change. Est chassé par le chat. So we start with the object. We write être, we write the past participle, we write pas, and then we write the subject at the end of the sentence. With that we finish this exercise, which is the third one, mettez au passif les phrases suivantes. Thank you. Hello everybody. So we are now going to do the fourth exercise in lesson 7, which reads grève générale, and the fourth exercise says complétez avec aucun or aucune, which means complete with either aucun or aucune. Aucun or aucune means no or none. So it depends upon the word that you're going to use, the noun that is going to come next to it. It depends whether it is going to be masculine or feminine. And aucun or aucune, whether the noun is singular or plural, aucun remains in the singular form only. It means none or no. So if the word is feminine, see for example in the first sentence, dash revendication n'est acceptable pour le gouvernement. That is, no demand is acceptable for the government. Now this word revendication is a feminine word. So how do you know? Generally all feminine words end with the letter E in the singular form, but all ION words giving the sound sion when you pronounce it. For example, television, which is television, natation, which is swimming. Similarly, revendication, demand. So since this word is feminine, we will use aucune. Aucune revendication n'est acceptable pour le gouvernement, which means no demand is acceptable for the government. We go to the next sentence. Dash transport ne marche aujourd'hui, which means no transport is plying today. Marcher means to walk. Obviously you don't say marcher in terms of walking for a transport. Here we are talking about plying. No transport is plying today. So this word transport is masculine singular. Aucun transport ne marche aujourd'hui. Dash banque n'est ouverte. No bank is open. The word bank is feminine, banque. So you write aucune banque n'est ouverte. The fourth sentence, je n'ai dash sympathie pour les grévistes. I don't have any sympathy for the strikers or the agitators. So the word sympathy. So as I said, oka or okyun can mean none or no. It can also mean any. So I have no sympathy, or I don't have any sympathy for the strikers or the agitators. This word sympathy is feminine. Je n'ai aucune sympathie. We come to the last sentence. La grève n'a causé dash inconvénient pour le public. Now this word inconvenient. Inconvénient means inconvenience. Now this word is feminine. But then I said oka or okyun will depend upon the noun to which it is qualifying. It is going to talk about the noun to which it is qualifying. Here we are talking about inconvénient, which is masculine singular. So you say la grève n'a causé aucun inconvénient pour le public. With that we end this exercise. Thank you. Hello everybody. So we are now in lesson 7, which is grève générale, and we are in the 5th exercise, which is mettez les phrases au style indirect. That is, put the sentences in the indirect speech. So we are going to change statements from direct speech to indirect speech. So remember, indirect speech, so supposing somebody says, the teacher says, do your work. So when we report it, we'll say the teacher says or teacher tells the students to do their work. Supposing there is a statement made by Anita. Anita says, I'm tired today. Becomes Anita says that she is tired today. So you are reporting a speech, and it's very easy if you understand how to do it, because it's the same rule as in English. And if you're able to translate the sentences and understand their meaning and translate it again into French, it becomes very easy to do direct to indirect. So I'm going to read out the sentences, I'm going to give you the meaning of it, and I'm going to tell you how it changes into indirect speech and what happens and what are the changes you'll be doing. So with that small introduction, let me get into the exercise. Ma mère me demande, est-ce que tu as fini tes devoirs? My mother asks me, did you finish your homework? Now this is a question. So my mother asks me, did you finish your homework? So if I'm going to change it into reported speech, it will be, my mother asks me if I have finished my homework. So, ma mère me demande, est-ce que tu as fini tes devoirs? My mother asks me if you have finished your homework becomes, my mother asks me if I have finished my homework is the answer. So how do you change it? You write with the same thing. Ma mère me demande, asks me. Now est-ce que becomes, is it that you have finished your homework? Becomes if. See which is if. Then the subject changes. If I have finished my homework. So this is a reported speech. Tu becomes je. I'm going to write it in past tense because the original sentence is in past tense. So I write si j'ai fini mes devoirs. If I have finished my homework. So my mother asks me, is it that you have finished your homework? My mother asks me if I have finished my homework. So that is how you change it into reported speech or indirect speech. We come to the second sentence. Son ami lui dit, nous allons en France en été prochain. So her friend tells her, or his friend tells him. So this can be her or him. Tells him, we'll go to France next summer. So there are two people talking to each other. So her friend tells her, we'll go to France next summer. Becomes, her friend tells her that they'll go to France next summer. So you will start off by saying, son ami lui dit, her friend tells her that they. Now it is plural they, so it becomes ILS. Why ILS? Because you can see that this is masculine and this could be feminine or masculine, we don't know. So it becomes il. And this is in present tense, this will become present tense. Ils vont en France en été prochain. You will write it back into the sentence. So what does it mean? Her friend tells her that they'll go to France next summer. We move on to the third sentence. Le directeur dit à sa secrétaire, envoyez la lettre ce soir. The director tells to his secretary, send this letter this evening. Now this is an order. So the director tells his secretary to send the letter this evening. I told you when it is an order, it becomes the infinitive, to plus the verb, which is the infinitive, and infinitive in French is the unconjugated verb. So you have to see, look at what verb this is and accordingly put this in the original form. So how it is done, I will show you. Le directeur dit à sa secrétaire, tells to his secretary. I told you this becomes the infinitive. Infinitive is the unconjugated word. So you will, unconjugated verb, you will not write it just like that. You will have to write DE or D apostrophe. Then only write. And because this is starting with a vowel, I put d'envoyer la lettre ce soir. The director tells his secretary to send the letter this evening. So remember, we are changing this into the infinitive, but infinitive you will write only after writing DE or D apostrophe. Here I am using D apostrophe because the verb starts with a vowel. We then move on to the fourth sentence. Son mari lui demande, qui a téléphoné? Her husband asks her, who telephoned? So when you are going to report it, her husband asks her, who telephoned? So it is the same thing there, and you will realize that when you write son mari lui demande, qui a téléphoné, who telephoned, becomes the same thing. But only thing is, here it is a question, here it becomes a statement. Qui a téléphoné? We come to the last sentence. La mère demande à ses enfants, qu'est-ce que vous faites? The mother asks her children, what are you all doing? So it becomes, the mother asks her children what? That which they do. So qu'est-ce que, it is important to remember, qu'est-ce que changes. You cannot bring qu'est-ce que into the question, which is in the question, same into the answer. What happens, I will tell you. So we will start. La mère demande à ses enfants, ask her children. So qu'est-ce que becomes ce que, that which. I told you est-ce que, and it is a question, it becomes si, because you're reporting. Similarly, here you're reporting. What is it that you're doing? So becomes that which they are doing. So becomes ce que. I cannot write que fully because we are talking about de, which is il. So I put an apostrophe. Verb is in present tense. Faire, faire conjugated for ILS becomes FONT. La mère demande à ses enfants ce qu'ils font. So qu'est-ce que becomes ce que, vous becomes il, because you're reporting the speech, they, and you're conjugating faire for il, which becomes FONT. So with that we end this exercise, and I'm sure you all have understood it well. Thank you. Hello everybody. We are now going to do the 6th exercise in the 7th lesson, and the 6th exercise reads mettez les phrases au style direct. That is, they've given you sentences in indirect speech and they want you to put it in direct speech. So remember, an indirect speech is a reported speech where you have reported what somebody makes as a direct conversation. So when it is a direct speech, it will be between quotes, and when it is an indirect speech, it is reporting whatever has been told, and the format will be subject and verb in the reported speech. Now with that small introduction, let us get into the exercise. The first sentence reads, il me demande ce que le professeur dit. So il me demande, he asks me that which the professor tells. Now when you are going to write the original speech, remember ce que is in the reported form, which has come from qu'est-ce que. Qu'est-ce que, so when you say qu'est-ce que, it is a question. So obviously you understand that the original speech made by the professor, made by this person, is asking a question. So you'll again start with il me demande, he asks me. Now comes within quotes. So because this is ce que, you write qu'est-ce que. What is it that? What is it that the professor tells? Qu'est-ce que le professeur dit? So this is a question. You will put a question mark and you will write this to indicate that this is a speech made by il. Il me demande. He asks me, what is it that the professor tells? So this is, he asks me that which the professor tells. We go to the second statement. Il nous demande où nous habitons. So again you can see that this is a question. They ask us where we live. So they ask us is the beginning. Il nous demande. They ask us where we live. So it is a question now. The question is, where do y'all live? Where do y'all live? Which is où habitez vous habitez où? Où habitez où? So where y'all live. So they ask us where y'all live becomes they ask us where we live. So that is the answer here, and this is the original, which is a direct speech. The third one, je dis à ma fille que je rentrerai du bureau tôt ce soir. So from this sentence you can see that there is que. This is a statement made. This is not a question. And when it is a statement, again we start with I tell to my daughter, je dis à ma fille. I tell to my daughter that I will return from the office early this evening. So I tell to my daughter then you will simply say je rentrerai du bureau tôt ce soir. So you're writing the same thing. You're writing the same thing. The only thing here is you have not written the curve, which is used when you are going to tell in the reported speech. We go to the fourth sentence. Mon professeur lui demande pourquoi il n'a pas bien fait l'examen. My professor asks him why he did not do his exam well. My professor asks him why he did not do the exam well. So, my professor asks him. So, then it will be a direct conversation between my professor and the person. So, when the professor is asking to a person, he will say why you didn't do the exam well. You as a third person are reporting by saying my professor asks him why he did not do his exam well. But when the professor is talking, it will be a direct conversation between A and B. So my professor asks him why you did not do your exam well. So that is what you will write. You will start with mon professeur lui demande. I am writing the shortened form of professor for constraint of place. Please don't do it in the exam. He asks him. Now this is a question. So the question is with pourquoi. Pourquoi? Why you did not? Tu n'as pas bien fait. Why you didn't do the exam well? Pourquoi tu n'as pas bien fait l'examen? Question mark and quotes. My professor asks him why. So he is asking him, why didn't you do the exam well? And as a third person, you are reporting by saying, my professor asks him why he did not do the exam well. We go to the last sentence of this exercise. Ma mère me demande combien de fois j'ai récité la leçon par cœur. My mother asks me how many times I recited the lesson by heart. So my mother asks me how many times I recited the lesson by heart. So here again it is a conversation between my mother and me. So she will ask me, and when she asks me, she will say, how many times did you recite the lesson by heart? How many times did you? Because it is a direct speech. So you will start out by saying, ma mère me demande, open quotes because it is a speech. You'll write a question, combien de fois means how many times. Combien de fois as-tu récité la leçon par cœur? Question mark and close quotes. How many times have you recited the lesson by heart? So this is direct speech, which we write from the indirect speech, which is mentioning exactly what someone says in a conversation. So this is between two people in a conversation, the speech told as it is. So with that explanation, I think you have understood this exercise, which is mettez au style direct. Thank you. Hello everybody. So we are in the seventh exercise of the seventh lesson which is grève générale, and these are read as compléter librement au futur, which is reply in the future or complete in the future tense according to your choice. Librement is whatever you want, you can write, which is your free way of writing the answer. But what is important here is you have to write it in the future tense. And there are certain situations given, there are 5 situations given, and you can write according to what you want. So the first sentence says, quand il y aura une grève, when there will be a strike. So this is when there will be a strike. Now I am translating it in English as there will be, but then in English you don't say there will be a strike, you say when there is a strike. Now you have to say I. So what will you do when there is a strike? What will you do? So you can say I will walk to the office. Je marcherai au bureau. Je marcherai au bureau. You can say whatever you want. You can say I will simply stay in the house. Je resterai chez moi. It is according to you what you want to write, but it has to be logically according to the given situation. You can't say when there is a strike I will eat or I will drink juice. So it also has to depend on the sentence and the meaning of the sentence that you write it in the future. So the first sentence is when there is a strike I will walk to the office. The second one, quand j'aurai de l'argent, je. When I have money, when I will have some money, I. So you can write whatever you want. You can say j'achèterai un palais. So I will buy a palace. Quand il fera chaud, je. When the weather is fine, I. So you can say I will go to the beach. J'irai à la plage. I'll go to the beach. The next one, quand j'irai à Paris, when I will go to Paris or when I go to Paris, what will I do? Je visiterai des monuments, or you can say je parlerai français. I will speak French. But whatever it is, you will have to write it in the future form. So this is just another option that I am giving you. We come to the last sentence. Quand je serai fatigué. Quand je serai fatigué. When I am tired. So you can write whatever you want. Je resterai chez moi. I will stay in my house. Je resterai chez moi, which means I will not go out anywhere. Or you can say je boirai du jus. I will drink some juice. So the option is yours, the choice is yours, what you're going to write, but what is important is you will write it in the future forms. And these are situational. So it has to tally or it has to be according to the situation given in the first part of the sentence. So with that we end this exercise. See, in this exercise, we have finished this exercise, but there is something that I wanted to tell you. In the second sentence, it was je, but then I cut it off and I put an apostrophe. See, in the original exercise in your book, it says je. But then, when I'm going to write a continuation or an effect based on the situation, the verb here starts with a vowel. So I have to write apostrophe here. I cannot retain the je just because it is given in your textbook as je. So when I will have money, here I am going to build or I am going to buy a palace. So this verb achèterai, since it starts with a vowel, I have to change the je to apostrophe. Similarly, in the third sentence, Quand il fera chaud, j'irai à la plage. When you see it in the textbook, the subject given here is je only. But because I have chosen to use a verb aller, and aller in the future starts with a vowel I, there is a clash in the vowel sounds. I have to put it as J apostrophe. So when the weather will be fine, I will go to the beach. Quand il fera chaud, j'irai à la plage. So with that, I think you'll have understood this exercise very well. Thank you.